So in this segment, we're going to be talking about the travel industry struggling without freedom of movement and their pleas for overseas workers rejected. And this is pretty wild stuff here. I know one of my friends recently, they've been traveling around and these queues in British airports are not great. The queues in EU airports aren't great either, but that's really down to Brexit, not down to staffing levels. But yeah, this is wild. So Grant Shapps rejected a request by the aviation industry to allow them to recruit workers from overseas. Aviation insiders are told the BBC. Companies asked for special immigration visas for overseas workers at a meeting with Shapps. Thousands of holiday makers have seen their travel plans disrupted this week, and it's still going on. You know, this article from a few days ago, 4 days ago, it's still going on. Flights are being cancelled, etc., because they don't have the staff. Thousands of holiday makers have seen their plans disrupted. Understaffing is to blame, experts say. And, you can blame the travel industry, you can blame the airports, etc. 2 years due to COVID that, essentially nothing's moved. But, they've struggled to get the staff in, and I wonder why. The half-term break and the bank holiday Jubilee weekend is the first major test the industry faced since all the restrictions were lifted in March, and boy did they struggle. However, the industry struggled to recruit staff to replace those who lost their jobs or left the sector during COVID. Obviously, if they found new work that they're happy with, they're not going to go back to work in their previous jobs. It has resulted in long queues at airports to get through security, check-in baggage, and delays in retrieving luggage. Industry bosses suggested, Shapps, that one potential fix would be to allow EU workers to cover the huge number of operational vacancies as the travel sector approaches the peak summer holidays. And, getting stuck in airport queues, it's rubbish. It's rubbish, honestly. Executive questioned why certain industries get special visas. Like, we've got ballet dancers on the visa shortage list. Like, why? It doesn't make any sense. It's understood that the government considered changes to the shortage occupation list, but ministers discounted the idea. And the more we kind of talk about how freedom of movement has damaged these industries, and the more kind of people realise that we actually need people to come in from abroad to do the jobs that we don't have expertise in, or jobs that British people just don't want to do. The more people realise that, the more they're going to understand how important freedom of movement was and how much EU workers actually contributed to the UK. And, physically being stuck in a queue for ages, despite, kind of the world seeing British people as loving to queue. No one loves to queue. Let's be honest here. It does show you how much EU workers really did help the British economy, etc. Some of the professions on the shortage list are graphic designers. That one's fine. I'm okay with that one. IT technicians, fine. Chefs, fine. Ballet dancers, really, ballet dancers. Instead of working group is being set up ahead of the summer holidays to work through the concerns, and they blamed people going on holiday for so much. They blamed it for the Dover traffic jams, which we know it wasn't down to people going on holiday. They blamed it for the airport stuff that's going on. It's just madness. Steve Heapy, chief executive of Jet2, blamed Brexit for the staff shortages, saying Brexit has taken hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people out of the employment market. That is undoubtedly having an impact. And let's not forget, public transport sucks. Trying to get to these airports, it's a nightmare unless you drive. So working in these airports, it's only a certain amount of people that'll be able to do it. No doubt people came here for, to work over in the summer. One of the jobs they could have done is working in airports temporarily, found temporary accommodation, which again is a nightmare because the rent prices in this country are a joke. But we're seeing the impacts of a lack of freedom of movement here. We're going to talk about the flip side of it in another article where Brits are stuck in queues in Spain for ages. Because of the end of freedom of movement and going through the non-EU queue. Following delays at airports this week, passengers are being advised they should just take carry-on bags and not check in luggage to avoid delays. Imagine saying that, don't take any extra stuff, just have one bag with you because it's going to take too long. It's madness. Before COVID, airports and airlines across the UK employed around 140,000 people. More than 30,000 members of staff have been laid off by UK airlines alone over the last 2 years. The UK labour market shortage has a record number of available vacancies and the lowest number of unemployment in nearly 50 years. And this is the key here, that unemployment is very low. It's at a record low. But we have a record number of vacancies. Most developed economies, they need immigration to keep powering the economy because there are a lot of jobs that people either don't want to do or more likely they don't have the expertise to do. Working in customer service, it takes a lot of expertise, it takes skill. Having to deal with people, especially annoying people on a daily basis, that takes a lot of energy. And people don't respect that. Until you work in these fields, people do not respect how difficult customer service roles are. and how much patience it takes. But yeah, this is just madness to me. People waiting hours and hours in queues. The government reluctant to, essentially put these sorts of job roles on the emergency visa shortlist. So we're going to continue to see these queues in the summer, and this isn't down to us losing freedom of movement. This is down to mainly a staff shortage. This is mainly down to staff shortage because of the end of freedom of movement. So yeah, it's just madness to me. If you are stuck in these queues, please don't get annoyed at staff, because it's not their fault. It's it's the British government and whoever's managing and doing the recruitment, and paying them essentially. But anyways, I'm gonna leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, support the channel on Patreon if you can, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.